Last time I played Puzzlerush from 0 to 20. I have to say, it was pretty easy, it was just a check thing, I would say, but now puzzles are getting harder and I'm going to show you how to do them. So let's start. I am black and I have to find the best move. So how can I do that? Obviously, as last time I always say, first of all, always look for checks. Do we have some check? Absolutely not. So, what is our opponent threatening? Right now, you just have to see that you're not going to get checkmated in the next move, so I guess for now it's okay. So now we have to see if we can attack something. And we can actually attack something. The move I was thinking about is that we'll put in the bishop on e4, and this attacks the bishop, so the queen has to move. The queen moves somewhere in order to defend the bishop, so I will say g4 or g3. If the queen goes on g3, we just take the queen, pawn takes, and we take the bishop. So we are up a piece. Also make sure that we are even in piece. So I play this move and my opponent plays g3. What can I do now? Well, obviously now I can just push the pawn. Okay. Instead of pushing the pawn, because if I push the pawn, then he takes this, and what can I do? I push the pawn, queen there, and now I can attack the queen another time. The queen move, I take the queen, he take the queen with the pawn, and I can finally take the bishop. So this is the line. Another tips. If you want to get better, try to finish a line you're calculating, and if you see that that's the winning line, play it. If you think that's not the winning line, look for something else. But don't just play bishop on e4 and hope that you're going to find something, because that's not the way to get better. So, right, that's even simpler. So, this should be pretty easy. Like, we just have a queen, so look at what the queen does. Do we have a check? We absolutely have a check. Check, king there, and what? Now we are trying to checkmate him, and it's just queen on this corner, and the king can't escape. So now we are with white, and as you can see, we are down a rook. So if you are down pieces, it's usually a checkmate, because otherwise you're going to... Obviously you see that we can take this pawn, so let's calculate this. If we take the pawn, if the king goes there, well, it's checkmate with the rook on a7. So it's not that. That's way too simple. Check, check, and checkmate with the queen. I have to say this was a pretty simple one. But it depends, because obviously when you go up with the chess numbers, puzzle get harder, but sometimes there are easier puzzle than what you did before. That's why. And sometimes you find a puzzle that should be easy but are really difficult. So now it's obviously a check with the rook or with the queen. The problem is that the rook is just this, and our opponent can cover the check in the different times, so I wouldn't say is that. It is a check with the queen. Check. The king goes there. Another check with the queen, and it's checkmate. Easy, you see? So, well, let's look the material. We are way down material. We are down 2 pieces, so it should be a checkmate. So the first thing I'm thinking about is just check with the rook, because we can check. But the king goes there, and what? there should be a follow-up. Take the rook. The king can't escape, so he has to take the rook. Check with the queen, the king. Turn on the square. Go back in the square, and we can checkmate him thanks to the pawn. So we saw all the line, we are going to play it, and we are going to do this puzzle. Easy. So, this should be a lot more complicated. So, I guess we have the material. We have a queen, but our opponent has like 300 pieces more than us. And that could be a problem. So, can we use this bishop now? I wouldn't say that. Can we sack the queen for the rook? That does absolutely nothing. Can we sack the queen for the bishop? I'm looking at all the checks. No, we can't. Like, they take, okay, check, and what? Lose. So I'm thinking that the only thing that could work in this position is this check with the rook, king take, and then we check again. If he covers, this is not so easy at all. I would say check with the rook, king take, check. Now let's see. If the king goes there, I mean, check. The king moves, or he try to shield the king with the rook, but then we can take another piece, and it's two rook against a queen and a bishop, so we're winning. So it's not best move for white. Check, take, check. Rook defends the king. No. We have this check with this check. If this check, what? Can actually go back. So it doesn't look like a brilliant thing. Check, and it will be checkmate, but it's not, because we can cover with the rook. And what? Check, take, check. Rook, check. Rook, check. And we can take a piece after that. Yeah, I guess we don't have anything better than this. Why? So, I probably missed something, because I don't think that was the best move. This could be hard. So we have to see what is the winning plan of white, because we are in an end game. And his winning plan is to put the king there, for a simple reason, because if he can go on g5, he can push this pawn, which can't be taken now because it's defended by the king. And if he pushes this pawn is going to be a queen. And not only that, if he pushes this pawn, he can also push this pawn. And he can also push this pawn. And he can also push our ass away of the board. So we kinda have to try to stop that. So what about a move like this? And if he moves the pawn, we are going to take everything, every pawn. And his plan will be this time to get on the squares. What if we actually push this pawn? Now, do you know how you can see if the king can actually take the pawn before the pawn is queening? You have to draw a square between the pawn and the promotion square of the pawn, and you do a thing like that. You see that this side is about c squared, so we're going to make a square about 6 per 6, as you can see. If the king is inside, it means that he can actually reach the pawn because before the pawn is going to become a queen. As you can see, he reached it pretty early on. So even if we try to push it, he may actually stop it, which is another problem. So let's say he pushes the king, we push again, king there, and now I'm thinking about playing this move, because after this we can actually push with no problem. So I did this calculation to see if the king should actually go with this pawn or the opponent should try to go with this plan. I will say he should try to go for that plan. So let's say we push. He pushes, we push. King there, we push. King there, we push. This goes there. And we push, which is the winning move because it's check and we can take the pawn back. Nice. So the winning move is actually moving this pawn up. And if he goes for... No, I mean, we can actually play this now. Should be the best move. Here you have to be careful, because if you play king there now, yeah, it's good that you're going to make a queen, but it's not the best move, because you could just push the pawn with no problems, because if the king goes there now, you just push, you don't need to move with the king. And if the king goes with the pawn, you defend it now. So that was the best move. Now be careful again. We can actually take this pawn. There is no problem. We can actually take this queen. We can actually take this pawn. Alright. So, look for checks. Look check, obviously, and should win. Should win. Let's see if it wins. So, or the king goes on the first... I always forget how it's called. I think is rank. To the first rank. And so, or it goes to the first rank, or it goes there. So check, the king goes there. Can we check it again? Absolutely. Absolutely, we can check it again. And if he goes there, we can push the pawn and win. I guess that's our plan. But what if he... Now, he can't go there because we can just win the rook. So, goes there. But wherever he goes is check. And he really need to block this pawn. So that's the tactic, is check. And if he goes this way, we are just going to push. Also, we are not going to get checkmated, we can run somewhere. I'm thinking, should I push? Or should I check him with the rook? What is the difference? If I push? Really, what is the difference? Well, I don't really see it. I guess it's check with the rook. But what is the difference? Like, I mean, the difference is that if he goes there, you can make a queen with check, but what if he goes there? I mean, I guess it's check. It was push the pawn. It was push the pawn. And you see, sometimes you find this puzzle which are insane. Like, tell me the difference between the rook check and not giving a check with the rook. Let's see, what can we do? I can actually take this pawn because it's check, and I can win the rook. I guess that's that. I don't see why not. And now I'm... yeah. And you find this puzzle which is stupid. So, what I'm thinking now is that we don't have a check, but we see that there is a bishop and a rook that are in the same file. And if you put the bishop there, it's check, but it's not only check, it's checkmate because there is the king of positions. So can he actually defend the bishop? No. So I go there, make a queen. I'm like, I don't care, you stupid piece of shit. I check him and he loses. Yeah, that's it. Does nothing. So last puzzle of today, and we have a mistake which is bad. Yeah. Let's see. Sometimes I say it's my fault, but this time I think it was really complicated. But maybe I missed something really stupid. But if the best move was to push the pawn, I don't get it. But I don't get a lot of things, so I should just shut up. What can we do? I'm thinking about a knight check for a simple reason. I'm not looking at this check because the king can actually run, but I see that the king can actually run now because the queen is actually controlling the g7 square. So if I check the king, he can't go on g7, but he can go on g5 or on h5. Let's say he goes on h5, he gets blown out of the board because he's check. King goes there and check. Check. No, I'm doing this too complicated. Check. Was there? Check. Yeah, I was doing this too complicated. I can just take this pawn and king goes there and checkmate. Right, what if the king goes there? Oh, now we have this check though. Now we have the check. And if the king runs there, this is checkmate. So check, and goes there, check. And if he runs there, it should still be checkmate. Alright, we found the winning solution. So guys, I hope you learned something. If you don't, that's your fault. It's not mine. It's completely not mine. And yeah, see you to the next video, and hopefully I will get to 40 without another mistake, because I would also like to make 40 to 50, trying to make 40 to 50, because my record is actually 50. So it's not that simple. Bye for now and see you soon.